Usually when I'm under here, I've got a nice blanket to lay on and all that kind of fun stuff, but the dogs have commandeered my blanket. So I'm on my back, doing this the fun way. I did get the other side out. I've got the 2 bolts off of the cross member on the other side. Now I just have to pull them from this side. 9/16 that side, 9/16 this side, 5/8 in the center, in case you're wondering. There's my 9/16. You do need a wrench on this side because, well, they look, broken spark plug. Yeah, take your spark plugs out before you pull your headers, or at least break them loose. I managed to break mine loose, and then immediately they fell in, broke spark plug. So get that out of the way for now. Get up in here and I remember it is towards the back. Yep. What do I have on there? 5/8? No, that's the 9/16. That must not have been on it. Nope, I wasn't. It needs a deep because these are in there so far. I must have used longer bolts on the side that they're barely grabbing, so I'll be back. I gotta get a 9/16 deep. What fun. Take this stuff back to the toolbox. Ouch. Yep. Grab a hold of a 9/16 deep. Oh. Yeah, I had another procedure done on my back on the left side. They shove a big old needle in you and use radio frequency or something to deaden the nerves in your back. It is oh so no fun. But you end up hurting for a while. But the end result is you can tolerate things again. Let's see, that's 5/8. There's 9/16. Problem is right now I'm sore, as sore can be. I'm trying to do as little as possible and not get yelled at by my wife, who says I should basically be laying in the bed watching TV and relaxing and not doing this stuff. But for those of you who own cars, you know this is very relaxing for us. Okay, that one's loose. Pull on that one. There it goes. These bolts have never been off, so it's kind of a interesting scenario. Now I got to get a wrench up at the top in order to get them to stay put. That's tighten. That's loosen. Okay, come here, you. Find that bolt head up there. Naturally, there's something in the way. Always something in the way. So I'll spin this till it gets where it needs to be. Can't tell if I'm on the bolt head or not. Kind of feels like it, but it kind of feels like it doesn't. It's not. Oh yeah, it's coming loose. Okay. I just can't feel the top of that bolt very well. Push it up. Like I said, it being a California car, these bolts are really easy to get off. Okay, let's see if I can spin the rest by hand. Maybe. There it is. You figured they'd come up with a better way than this. Should have put on my gloves because now my hands are filthy. And the bolts up at the top along with the washer. Man, the washer's so dirty it's stuck to it. Yeah. Definitely, wow, this hand spins. If I'd have done that, I'd have got my knurled handle, so I could just spin them out. That's when you know that there's no rust in the car. Almost there. There it is. That one's out. And that, thank goodness for glasses, because that just bonked me right in the head. Naturally. Come out of there. I got that one. And the only thing I have to do now is jack up the transmission. I'm going to go wash my hands. Put on a set of gloves because I need to pull the speedometer cable, the linkage mechanism, and then just put a jack on the trans to raise it up so I can move the trans mount back and finish draining the transmission. And then as soon as I do that, well, as soon as I've washed my hands and put some stuff on, I'll turn you guys back on again. I also have to pull these bolts for the seats because I want to take those out too. But one thing at a time, so that's kind of where we're at right now. I do need to pull this header out. I don't think I'll be able to come out of there without a fight. Yeah, he wants to fight me. Because I got this pan in the way. Once I get the pan out of the way, I can maneuver it around a little bit more. But we'll worry about that here in a little bit. More interested in getting this trans drained. That's the most important thing right now. Because as you can see, if you can, this whole floor is just covered in red. So definitely something we want to clean up. So I'll get back with you in a minute. Oh. Hi, buddy. Okay, one blinking red light going. Tells me you're recording. So I've already pulled the speedometer cable and let me have those two, and bolted the other side of the pan up on the driver's side. This needs to go ahead and move out of the way. And I'm going to run up the trans pan bolts. Let me make sure I don't have any more over here on the floor. Nope, just header bolts. And while I was at it, I was cleaning up the, let me hang this over here. Oh, be that way. Okay, well, kind of an angle there. I'm also cleaning the floor up because it has got trans fluid all over it. But as I was saying, I don't know if I've said this before, but this whole floor is epoxy with the speckles and all that fun stuff. Oh, look, a dime. I found a dime. Keep that. That's better. Better than to find a penny. So what I'm doing now is just putting my transmission pan bolts back on. And that way I don't have to worry about losing them. I am using an air tool, so it's going to get a little noisy for a minute. But it definitely makes quick work of it. I say sorry about the noise. That one's not pretty going in for some reason. Yep, it's okay. Not galling it. I'm snugging them. I'm not cranking them down. I got this sucker set on a low setting. Voila. I want them to stay on. So there you go. Those are all tightened, and while I was over at the other side, I removed the speedo cable, and I removed the shift linkage. And while I was under here, I put my hat on because I don't want to get oil and grease in my head, and it is very, very filthy under here. Can't see it much well, but yeah, it looks like we've had a little bit of an oil leak. Not much of one. Everything looks pretty good, but this is definitely leaking to the point where there's fluid all over the bottom of the pan, and not only from just us doing what we did. Torque converter area looks clean, flywheel looks good. Yeah, I find it interesting that the flywheel has orange paint on it. That's an interesting thing considering this motor's never been out of the car. This will be its first time. So the only thing I've got now to remove are the motor mount bolts. Hook the chain on it and yank it out of the car. I do need to remove these, but I will probably bring these up, the transmission lines out with the engine, just so that I can make some changes on where it's going to run. With the turbos and the exhaust and everything, I've got plenty of room here to bring the turbo pipe right on through here to the exhaust. Same as on the other side, there's a lot of space in there because the headers go up and forward and down and forward, but they go forward more than they go back. So I'll have all this room down here to move my exhaust. Starter's out. Inspection plates removed. Pretty much everything's ready to go. I can pull that linkage off if I wanted to. I'm going to go ahead and pull the engine out and see what happens. But that's kind of the content for today, is just getting this ready to pull. I might record here in a little bit on hooking up the engine puller and all that kind of fun stuff. I've got the 4-chain engine hoist, which makes it real nice. I can tip it as I need it. But that's kind of where we're at right now, and that's kind of all I'm going to be doing here for the next little bit. At least I'm out from underneath the car. I won't have to come up under here anymore until I have to pull that drive shaft out. I am going to let it drop when the trans pulls out, and then I'll pull the drive shaft off completely, so that when I get everything put back together again, it's ready just to go in. But it saves me from having to store a drive shaft somewhere if I just leave it here. I've got a lot of work to do on this engine compartment, cleaning it up, and down here it's really bad. So she's going to need some time with the power washer. So that's it for right now. Make sure you like and subscribe. Send any comments on anything you're interested in learning as I go through. And I can always backtrack to anything that I've already done. So give me a holler. Oh, by the way, this does have polyurethane bushings in the suspension, front and back. I have to replace them on the subframe. That I'll do when the motor's out too. All that kind of stuff, because it's real easy to get to it from there. So like, subscribe, and I'll be looking for you on the next one. Thanks from Papa's Garage.